Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in the past. We're making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. You'll notice that I'm outside. I'm at Hope Gardens in Kingston, Jamaica. And with me is Heather Rhone. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you so much, Noreen.
Heather is a self-help author and a life coach. Now, she has a book called Knowing with Purpose. Tell us about that book, and then we get to our topic for today.
Certainly, Noreen. Our Knowing with Purpose is my first book.
Good.
Right?
Congrats.
It was birthed out of a desire to find my purpose. Having worked in corporate for over 20 years, I was at a crossroads in my life where I had to make a decision in what is it that I want to do more with my life. I felt like I had done enough. And, you know, I was feeling unfulfilled at the point when I made that decision. The workplace had become a bit unhealthy for me.
Okay.
And I had to make a decision whether or not I wanted to stay in that situation or I wanted to do more for myself. And I felt I was at that point and God called me. And I knew that I was ready to actually launch out into doing something more that would impact the world better.
Okay. All right, so which is a nice segue then into what we're going to be talking about. How can people then know their purpose? How?
All right, so I was an admin working in my job for several years, worked at different levels within that role. And, you know, I did a lot of minutes and I did a lot of reports. And, you know, in doing that, I recognized that I was an excellent writer. So, you know, it really pays to pay attention to what you're doing. And through that, you can help to discover what are your passions. When I resigned and in my solitude, I began to write. And God was revealing my gifts to me during that time. And there led to the birth of Knowing with Purpose. You know, I started about 10 chapters, I think, in 2021 and actually culminated the book in 2023 when I approached my publisher and we took it from there and brought it to life.
Okay. So you said you're in a job not fulfilling. What is it? What was the quote unquote defining moment that you said, no, you know, this is it, I'm done?
Well, like I said, the environment became too much for me. It was very unhealthy. And there was this push in my spirit that, hey, maybe this is the moment that you need to launch out and do something more. You're feeling unfulfilled, the environment is unhealthy. You know, it is in your discomfort that you birth things that are within you that are outside of what you normally do.
I like that.
Yeah. And so I was able to write this book. I didn't even know that I could be an author. I didn't even know I was such an excellent writer. And based on the reviews that I've gotten on the book, I recognize that it has been transformational and inspiring, and I intend to do more of it. And of course, coming out of that, I did recommit my life to God. So I became a Sabbath school teacher. And during that role and other roles in church, I was able to enhance my public speaking skills and my coaching abilities. And so it pays to pay attention to what you're currently doing so it can help to realize your unrealized passions and seek to strengthen them.
Okay. I like the fact that you just said we need to pay attention, because I think more often than not, people just get so caught up in
the mundane.
Yes, in the mundane that you really don't pay attention.
Yeah.
How then has this change for you impacted on your relationships, whether positively or negatively?
Oh, absolutely. Well, when you're walking into your purpose, there's a sense of fulfillment that you get from that. You know, and I do feel very fulfilled. I feel like I'm walking the path that God has ordained me to walk. And so in terms of how I relate to others and the impact that I'm able to have on them personally, it has been tremendous based on the feedback. And so I feel like a part of our job as human beings is, outside of being of service to others, is to leave a legacy of impact on others.
Yeah. How many persons are open to that though? Heather.
That is the thing. I think you have to reach a certain point in your life where you want more for yourself,
Okay.
personally, where you're not just okay with just going with the regular everyday, where you're not just okay with, okay, I'm getting paid and I'm all right with this, and you're just moseying along. You have to want more for yourself. You have to always be wanting to push yourself further than where you were yesterday. So it has to be an inner drive that pushes you to want to do that, really. And of course, that inner calling from God that, hey, look, I have something else for you to do. Are you willing to respond to that call? And I was.
I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Heather Rhone, and I'm on the Making It Last podcast. This is my book, Knowing with Purpose. Please feel free to go on Amazon and make your purchase. I'm sure you will be inspired. We'll be taking a break to recognize our partners.
Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is.
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors: Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics, or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
I recently have been coached by the great Miss Noreen Daly. I own a video company. I'm also an online influencer. So I do a lot of speaking virtually and in person. She was able to point out some of my weaknesses that I didn't yet notice. And I 100% recommend Miss Noreen Daly as your coach.
Noreen Daly, redefining the way you communicate.
Welcome back to Making It Last, and we will continue the conversation.
I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life.
You keep making, references to God. For people who will watch this and listen to this, and for them, they don't believe in a God. For them, I'm just living my life. Some people subscribe to the philosophy that you only live once. What then would be your response or your, advice
To
for
those
those who don't
persons.
have that mindset?
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Well, the truth of the matter is you have to be living and responding to something greater than yourselves. You were really just made on this earth just like that. And suppose whatever it is that is your inner drive, that should lead you to want to not just stay where you are all the days of your life, but rather to aspire to something greater, because we're all here for a specific purpose, regardless of how small or minute you think it is. It makes a difference and it can change someone's life. They may not tell you directly, but they'll be noting it and be inspired by it and changing their lives in their own little way based on just observing you. So you have to be mindful of that.
Okay. All right. So you just spoke about the fact that how, even those who don't believe in God, there must be something else bigger. What else has been such an impact, or who are the other individuals who have impacted you in you knowing even your own purpose?
Well, to be honest with you, I would say that a community is important, because we don't get through life on our own. And so, of course, during my period of discovering my purpose, my church community was integral.
Okay.
My parent was integral. My family was integral. My friends were integral. Obviously, there were moments where you had to be in solitude for God to speak to you. But certainly, collectively, you have to have a community to assist you in seeking something high and supporting that cause. The truth of the matter is, though, that I think my parents have been quite impactful in my life in that they have always allowed me to be an independent thinker. And I think that independent thinking has guided my decisions throughout my life. Yes, and it has allowed me to say, okay, whilst I accept whatever it is that you're saying to me, ultimately my decisions are based on the facts and my gut feeling and God's guidance.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the whole idea of community. Some people refer to it as tribe, some people refer to it as circle. How important is that to you, outside of your immediate family? How important is that to you in terms of them even helping you to validate what your purpose is?
Okay, it is important for you to find persons who are like-minded. So, of course, I've never been an author before. I've never been a coach before. That is what I was called to do. However, I needed to find myself in a community of persons who share the same values, and that has helped tremendously.
Okay. As we're winding down, if with all of that you said, somebody will say it's all well and good for you because you probably have that support that you need, so you're able to step out in faith and do things from what you would normally do. What would you say to somebody to move away from that skepticism and also then say, hey, here are some steps for you to then find your purpose?
Okay, the truth is, Noreen, when I did step out, I didn't get a lot of support for my decision. I got a lot of hit back.
Okay.
Persons thought it was the wrong decision. It was in
Okay.
the middle of the pandemic. Where are you going? Are you crazy?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it definitely wasn't like that. I think I was alone most of the time in making that decision because I was focused that this is what I wanted to do. And I believed in myself enough to know that I was going to make it regardless. The other things, the other opportunities came as a result of me making that decision. Yeah.
Sweet. So with that being said, now, if you had to then condense or encapsulate everything to say, hey, here's a 3-step process in finding your purpose, what would that 3-step process be?
Well, the first is having faith in God.
Okay.
That's a must because that is where you get your strength. Persons may fail you, but God will never fail you.
That's right.
Right. So that's number 1. And 2, to be focused and have self-belief in yourself that regardless of not having support, you know that this is what you want and you're going to go for it regardless. And 3rd is to seek towards having a desire to seek towards wanting to make a difference and an impact on other person's lives positively. That has to be the greatest motivation, regardless of it being for a financial purpose or otherwise. That will come, you understand? Because once you're walking into your purpose and you feel fulfilled, then you're doing what you love, the money will come.
Yeah. Excellent note to end on. This was Heather Rhone sharing with us. Thank you so much, Heather.
You're welcome, Noreen.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life. We won't live in the past. We're making it alive.